Let me ask you this. Senator Leahy also raised a pledge, a statement that you signed regarding abortion. You told us, you told the committee in response to his question, you and your husband both signed it. I'm looking at the advertisement in question right here, the portion that you signed. You said that you signed it on your way out of church, if I remember correctly.
I did. That was almost 15 years ago. At the back of church, there was a table set up for people on their way out of Mass to sign a statement, validating their commitment to the position of the Catholic Church on life issues. The ad that was next to it, I don't recall seeing the ad at the time, and in context looking at it, it looks to me like that was an ad by the St. Joseph County Right to Life group. The statement that I signed, it was, affirming the protection of life from conception to natural death. Oh.
And you just made reference to the fact again that it was in church. Can you why would it have been in the back of church? I mean, why would the signatures? Why would this have been available to sign or not, as you so chose in the back of church?
Well, because that is the position of the Catholic Church, on abortion. Though I feel like I should emphasize here, as I emphasized to others asking me the question, that I do see as distinct my personal, moral, religious views and my task of applying the law as a judge.
Is it safe to say, following that distinction you just made, though, that the signature that you lent to your husband also reflects your understanding of your church's teaching and your own personal views? I mean, that's what this says that you signed.
So what I would like to say about that is I signed that almost 15 years ago in my personal capacity when I was still a private citizen. And now I'm a public official. And so while I was free to express my private views at that time, I don't feel like it is appropriate for me anymore because of the canons of conduct to express an affirmative view at this point in time. But what that statement plainly says is that when I signed that statement, that is what I was doing at that point as a private citizen.
And I'm not aware of any law or provision of the Constitution that says that if you are a member of the Catholic Church and adhere to the teachings of the Catholic Church, or you have religious convictions in line with those of your church teaching, that you're therefore barred from office. Are you aware of any constitutional provision to that effect?
I would think that the religious test clause would make it unconstitutional.
Well, let me just ask you about the test clause since you bring it up. Article 6 says, no religious test shall ever be required as a qualification to any office or public trust under the United States. Can you just give us your sense, as a constitutional expert, scholar, and judge now, of the significance of Article 6 for our constitutional scheme?
So the religious test clause prohibits this body, prohibits the government generally from disqualifying people from office because of their religious beliefs.
And it guarantees, does it not, the freedom of religion? I mean, it is Amendment 1, the First Amendment will go on to talk explicitly, and I want to ask you about that in a second, about religious liberty. But Article 6 is significant in that it sets out that no American citizen can be kept out of office based on his or her belief. You don't have to go and get someone's approval, certainly not somebody in government, their approval over what you believe. Does it meet this test or not? Do they like it or not? You don't have to get any sign-off. In fact, any kind of sign-offs are explicitly ruled out by the Constitution. Is that a fair characterization?
The religious test clause makes plain that denomination or belief can't be a reason to disqualify someone.
And that is why I continue to say it is vital that we underline in the Constitution that this test clause, and that we insist that it be applied in the context of your confirmation judge and every nominee for every high office who comes before this committee. There are no religious tests for office, and the attempt to smuggle them in, even in the midst of this committee's hearings to date, it must be resisted on the basis of the Constitution itself.